What's going on, everybody? My name is WiseTV, back again with another video. Today we are doing r/pettyrevenge number 2. And as you guys can tell, we hit 2,000 subscribers, and we are already well on our way to 3,000, and since we hit 2K, this video is going to be 20 minutes long. I appreciate all the support, it has been truly amazing, and let's get right into this vengeful video. I'd been working for this gas station for 3 years and eventually got pretty comfortable at this point. Like not thinking twice about matching someone's rude attitude or making people wait if I notice they cut someone else in line, etc. We also had no public restrooms. No, not customer only restrooms, no public restrooms. So we had a lot of males who liked to piss on the side of the building by the payphone that was just out of sight through the storefront window. We were also neighbors with a small hamburger shop, and there was a chain link fence between us. So over time, it became obvious that when a customer was leaving a store and made a left, it meant that they were probably taking a piss in the corner since the parking lot exit was only straight or right from the door. One day this guy walks in doing the famous "I gotta pee" dance while hurrying to the counter and asks for $40 on pump 3. I ring it up and watch him jog back to his truck and start pumping his gas. He jogs back and asks for a restroom. I had already noticed he had to pee pretty badly. We could get fired for letting people use our toilet, otherwise I would let him use it. I told him empathetically, "Oh, I'm so sorry, man, we don't have a public restroom. The closest one is McDonald's across the street." The hamburger shop next to us was tiny and also didn't have a restroom. He said, "I just paid for gas though, so where's the restroom?" I told him sorry, it's for employees only. He rolled his eyes and walked out the door and made a left. I knew he was going to take a piss in the corner, so while he's taking a piss, I go to the register and stop his pump, and then I walk to the back room and begin to fill a bucket with hot water along with a splash of some cleaning chemical we used to mop the floor with. I then walk up to the counter and casually wait with my bucket for the guy to notice his pump has stopped. The freelance pisser starts jiggling the handle of the pump and pressing buttons and gives up and heads back into the store. He begins saying, "Hey, my pump." I cut him off and say, "Please take this bucket of hot water and splash it over the piss you took outside and I'll restart your pump." He looked at me in amazement and says, okay. He takes the bucket, rinsed off the wall outside. He walks back and hands me the empty bucket. I said, "Your pump should be good to go now. Please don't pee on the building next time." He says sorry and then pumps his gas and leaves. Maybe I was a little extra, but during the summer the smell was so worse, and we were always the ones that had to clean it up. Found a better job 4 months after that. Just thinking about this, it must have been really awkward for the guy that pissed on the wall. Like, you're just trying to be secretive over there, not making a big deal, and they confront you about it. It's like, oh crap, I've been caught. Well, at least they got it all sorted out, and he wasn't a jerk about it, but still, pretty embarrassing. This happened moments ago. Spent the night at a Holiday Inn Express. There was a large group of folks that kept emaciating the breakfast offerings. Those poor workers were running non-stop. When more eggs arrived, a line quickly formed. Just as I was about to get the eggs, some person steps in front of me and says, "I've been waiting on these eggs for a long time." Yes, but most of us got into this line here to get them. I was in the line a long time ago. Yeah, that makes it alright. He walked away with his eggs, of course. A bit later, my wife asked for the room key. She forgot hers, so she could get back to the room. The kids and I stayed and finished eating breakfast. When we went up to go to the room, there was a housekeeping cart directly across the hall from my door, bottleneck in the hall. Guess who was almost to my door walking down the hall? The dude and his companion. I knocked lightly on the door, and my kids and I waited patiently for my wife to open the door. All the while, the person stood and waited. This is today's small victory. This right here is the definition of petty. Not overreactive, but just enough to piss someone off, just slightly, you know? Some background information. My girlfriend goes to the same grocery store for most of her food shopping. At this store is the embodiment of the word cringe. We'll call him C for short. C is a monster crush on my girlfriend of 5 years, who I'm already on board to marry, and she's all for it. We've had the discussion. Only reason we're not is because I'm fresh out of college and she's still in, so money is pretty tight. C knows she's been in this relationship. She's told him, I've told him. I made it to the point to make it obvious that he's not going to have a chance with her, and so is she. C still hovers over her and creeps on her at every visit. He works at the grocery store near girlfriend's house that girlfriend's mom also works at. This is important. Last night, we had to grab something from the store and stopped and talked to mom. She had left her glasses at home, so we volunteered to go and get them for her. We check out, the whole time C is hovering over us and not getting the hint, yet again, that girlfriend wants nothing to do with him. So we hightail it out of there to get mom's glasses and get back quick. I decide, this is my moment. Girlfriend takes the glasses back to her mom in the bakery, across the store, and make a dash for the pharmacy for a very specific item. It's there in all its purple and gold glory, a 10-pack of Trojan condoms. They're in one of those loss prevention boxes with the magnets locking it. I've got this. I pick up the box and bring it to the front of the store where C is manning the self-checkouts. Now, I'm a nerd. I wear game shirts that are very distinct and pop out because I love them. I hand C the box and say, "Hey man, there's no one at the pharmacy. Can you pop this open for me?" and hand him the box. He says, "No prob," all cheery. He tries to open the box with a magnet and he fails. Then I see him look over at me. He recognizes my shirt from when we stopped by a bit ago. I can see the hamster wheel spinning. He tries again, the magnet doesn't open, his face droops, he tries the third time, success! Well, for me anyways. He hands me the box and I say, thanks man. All I get in response is a grunt of sadness and frustration. He goes to take the security box back and I finish checking out. He makes it back just in time for the machine to finish printing my receipt. I tell him thanks again. Complete and utter silence. I swear I could hear his heart shatter. The kicker, girlfriend comes up to me at the same time and I walk out with my arm around her waist. Dang, I don't care who you are, but that's just gotta hurt. Like, that's just flat out pain. As much as this guy is a creep, I kind of feel a little bit sorry for him, a little bit of empathy, cause ouch. A couple of years ago, when I was around 8 or 9, my sister and her best friend decided it would be funny to put salt in my underwear. Now this was in the dead of summer and I got an extremely bad rash. I told my mom and showed her the rashes. I didn't connect this to my sister, yet. My mom saw the rashes and turned to my sister. She immediately confessed to doing it. After that, I planned my revenge. I got my mom to buy me a water gun and washable markers. I waited till December to enact my revenge. My sister had a portable heater that made a lot of noise. I had both hands full of Legos and my pockets were also full of them and I put them all around her bed. My sister is a hard sleeper. I drew on her face with the markers. During all of this, I had my Crocs on to prevent my feet from the Legos. I shot my water gun all over her in the bed. I ran from the room throwing Legos on the floor to cover my escape. I ran to my room locking the door. My parents woke and knocked on the door asking why did I spray her. I reminded them about the salt. I got off scot-free. A majority of us here viewing this video know that stepping on a Lego is one of the worst pains mankind can ever experience, and at least you got off free. I mean, it's one thing when you get revenge and you get in trouble for it, and it's another when people are understanding about it. So, I'm a junior in a black New York City high school. I live in a relatively chill project and I live really close, so it was the first choice. In my school, there are a few groups of girls who clog up the hallways and sing as loudly and obnoxiously as possible. I try my best to ignore them and do a pretty good job. That was until the entire group got placed in my chemistry class. They talk as loud as they sing, and the teacher, as nice of a guy as he is constantly telling them to quiet down. They never catch on to what we are learning and they hog up class time. So one of these cold days, our teacher, who I'll affectionately call Mr. L, calls out sick. The class sub is called in and we basically chill because the handout given to us is light work. I pull out a clipboard with paper on it while my now ex-friends chat at a different table. The group of girls group together nearby my table and chatter loudly until they start singing some cheesy rap song. Maybe Cardi B? I remember some lyrics, but that doesn't really matter. Now usually, I would just move away, plug in my earphones, and continue drawing, but this time I actually wanted to shut them up. Since I'm a bit known for singing in small talent shows and in the cafeteria, a few students may have knew what was going to happen. So I grabbed my headphones, turned on a loud song I knew the lyrics to, and started singing as loud as I can. And when I say I was loud, I mean I quieted them down after the first chorus. I heard them suck their teeth as I took my headphones out, interspersed with dangs and alrights. My then friends were pretty pissed at me for the stunt I pulled, but I was proud. Now I don't have to fear that banshees are in my school every time Mr. L is out. You see, if I tried to do that, if I tried to sing really loudly, my voice would crack and I'd look like a total retard in front of the whole school. So yeah, I try not to do that. When I was in elementary school, I had mechanical pencils. My dad bought me 2 packs, so it was enough. Anyways, I was sitting and doing my work when I got up to get something. I came back and my pencil was gone. Note that I had the eraser tops because the eraser on the pencil got too low and I couldn't get it out to replace it. Anyway, the top half was broken and very dull because I used it a lot. The pencil was blue. A couple days later, I see one of my friends has a blue mechanical pencil and he never uses them because he got banned from them. I told him that's my pencil and he says it was his. I obviously knew that that was BS because he was banned from having them and it had the eraser and he said that he found it on the floor. From that day on, I would steal his pencil. He threw away the mechanical afterwards because it had no lead and he didn't have any. I had 2 packs so it didn't matter. Every single day he would ask me for a new one and the teacher got annoyed and would stop giving him pencils because she gave him one yesterday and he always loses it. This was in like 2nd grade. Okay, I can really relate to the erasers getting too low. I remember I'd have to swap them out. I'd spend like 20 minutes just picking at that stupid eraser trying to get it out. Or I'd start disassembling them in class and I'd get in trouble because I'd take the little springs out and then lose the parts and then I had to ask people for pencils. Okay, enough of my 2nd grade experiences. Moving on. Some of you might not agree, but I moved to Los Angeles for work. I take the train every day to work, which I do enjoy, and I pay my $100 a month for an unlimited pass. Every day I take the train, I see all these people just pushing the turnstiles over, jumping over. It's not like the New York subway where I come from. No one's ever watching here or seems to care. Kinda pisses me off. I feel like a schmuck for paying $100 a month. Meanwhile, everyone else seems to be getting on for free. So today, this 20-something kid with his girlfriend both jump over in such a crazy fashion. I saw this as I had just tapped myself through. I know, I shouldn't care, I should mind my own business, but I just had enough of that stupid feeling, so I said, "Hey man, you gotta tap." He starts calling me fat, that I'm the KKK because I'm white, Jesus, I get it, I'm white. I love and appreciate all cultures. Stop assuming I'm a racist. I didn't call you names, my bad for judging you on your actions. He starts getting in my face, spits on my shoes, and at this point I'm just trying to walk away, realizing I shouldn't have said anything. But he won't leave me alone after I keep saying whatever, just go away. I keep walking away and finally the train comes, doors open and it's two cops, see him yelling at me. They ask what's going on and I said screw it. Yeah, I snitched. I said, he didn't tap, I called him out on it and now he's getting aggressive. I got on the train, I see him start crying in front of the cops as the door shut on me. I don't know what happened and I don't want to see anyone get arrested, but hopefully he handled it calmly and got a ticket, and as he should. Pay the freaking fare, man. Dude hops over with a Starbucks iced coffee, you can afford $1.50 to ride, otherwise why am I paying? And for the record, I know I could have just not said anything, but we've all caved into petty crap, and being that this is petty revenge, I figured it would fit. I'm not a saint, but I'm happy someone making me feel like a doofus for paying a pass had to explain to a cop why he couldn't pay his ride like everyone else. Yeah, it kind of was petty calling him out, but then again, it is petty revenge, but the dude overreacted really. It's not that big of a deal, and there's no need to freak out and be like that, calling him names and spitting on him. That's just pretty messed up. So this happened yesterday. When I was done in the gym and left, I went to my scooter, parked in the parking spot directly opposite to the entrance. I unlocked the lock. I have a bike lock on the front tire since the other one is broken. Put it in the trunk. Here a car drives by my side. This will become important later. Then I turn the engine on to heat it up, and I then put my helmet on, and as I'm about to put my gloves on, this lady says as her car's in reverse by my side, she yells, "Can you roll out so I can drive into there?" In a really aggressive tone. I say, "Yeah, sure, just a minute and I'm out." She then replies, "No, you must go now so I can park here. Just roll out and do your stuff out of the parking lot." So this lady yells at me that I should roll my scooter out at the street and stand on it, hindering traffic and putting me in danger so she can park 10 seconds earlier. It would have taken like 10 seconds and I would be out since only my gloves were left, and then I would drive away. But she asked me to put it off the stand, roll out on the street, put it back on the stand so I could put my gloves on. So I say, if you push me more, it all might take a bit longer. Mind you, this conversation lasted now longer than it should have taken for me to get out of the spot. She replies, "I'm not pushing you, gosh darn it, just move out. It's not that hard, I want to park here." So I turn my engine off, take my helmet off, proceed to check if I have anything in my backpack, then make sure all the zippers are shut, and drink something and so on. She then drove off screaming, "Really nice of you," and went to park somewhere else. Now, the funny thing is, the gym only has like 20 to 25 parking spots, so at that time the place was full, and the nearest parking lot is a mile down the road at the other end of the facility belonging to the supermarket. After she left, I finished, rolled back, and made space for the old man waiting patiently behind me. Man, that felt good. This is a perfect example right here how patience goes a long way. Just can have a huge impact on how your day goes and how it affects others. And see, like if you're patient like that old man, you get rewarded by a closer parking spot. Back in year 9, my friend had a locker near a guy, let's call him John. Toward the end of the first semester, we were all told to clean out our lockers so we'd have a fresh start for the next term. My friend had finished cleaning out her locker, but after lunch she went to grab her books. She found out that her locker was full of rubbish and papers that didn't belong to her. On one of the papers was John's name. He had taken all the rubbish and clutter from his locker and thrown it in my friend's. These two had no past bad blood or any reason we can think of for him to throw his rubbish in her locker. My friend was really annoyed, so together we hatched a plan. On the last day before the holidays began, we went to the supermarket near our school and bought a rainbow cod. After our last lesson, we placed the fish in his locker and left it to rot over the holidays. Once we came back to school, we were told that there had been an outbreak of maggots in John's locker and those surrounding it. His locker smelled horrible, and the staff had already disposed of the fish before we could see what it had become over the weeks while it was left there. His locker smelled terrible, and there were still fishy juices on the floor of the locker. All our lockers were full, and he was forced to keep that locker till the end of the year. Also, there was an announcement from the principal about pranks that had happened over the holidays. Anyone who was found to be linked to the prank was threatened to be expelled. This wasn't a prank, this was justice. I am currently in year 11 and still, no one knows who is responsible for that fish in the locker. I guess you could say something was a little bit fishy there. But okay, sorry, I'm trying too hard to be funny. Next, a few years back, I was looking to withdraw a significant amount of cash to buy a computer from a friend. So I go into the bank and wait my turn to see the teller. It had been a while since I had been inside, as I like to use the mobile app to do most of my transactions and I hardly ever use cash. Once it reaches my turn, I go to the front desk, give my information, and ask for a withdrawal. The teller just looks at me for what seems like an awkwardly long amount of time and then tells me she won't be able to perform that transaction. I asked her why, because who wouldn't think you can't withdraw cash from your own account? Apparently, the bank was piloting a program where any cash withdrawals in person should be done at an in-store ATM. After confirming that I wouldn't be able to get the cash I needed, I left frustrated. Here's where the revenge comes in. Mwahaha. The account I use with the bank covers all out-of-network ATM fees. So I decided I'm going to drive down to the opposing bank's ATM, which is considered out of network, and withdraw $600. I did this by making 30 separate $20 transactions costing the bank about $3 each. I'm not sure how long the program continued, but the last time I went there to withdraw money, I didn't have to use the in-storage ATM. That's what I call making a difference on society one day at a time. This happened about 2 years ago, but it was pretty petty. Back in my hometown, there was a pharmacy with two tiny one-way streets, one street on each side of the building. One street would take you to the main road / front parking, and the other to the basement level parking and back streets. The main road was always congested with cars, and it was a common practice to use the pharmacy's road as a shortcut and avoid the intersection. The petty revenge. I used to live in the neighborhood behind the pharmacy and would frequently stop there before going to college, always using the correct one-way street. As I'm midway up the tiny road, a middle-aged man comes barreling down the main road to avoid the traffic light. He honked his horn and was yelling at me, so I would back out of the road to let him pass. I was sick of people doing this, and I decided I had enough time to just park there and visit the pharmacy. I turned on my hazard flashers, shut the car off, and left my car right in the middle of the street. The man was beyond angry and was still yelling at me to get out of his way. I took a picture of his car's license plate and went into the pharmacy for 15 minutes while keeping an eye on the window for cars coming up the right way. The guy ended up boxed by another car coming up behind him and wasting 15 minutes trying to get out of the pharmacy's lot. Honestly though, that's a good idea. It's like just basically the patience game. Who's gonna break first? And it ended up being him, so karma kind of struck back at him, so that's his fault. He played himself. Okay guys, it's currently 10 p.m. I still have to render this video and get it uploaded. It's gonna take at least another hour. So I'm sorry this came short of 20 minutes, but it's close enough, you know what I mean? Tomorrow's upload, I'm gonna let you guys know in advance. It's gonna be r/entitled parents number 4, but before you say, oh, you've already done a lot of these, it's going to be your guys' stories from the comment on my recent video, because I got a lot of interesting stories. I figured I'd make a video on them because you guys seem to enjoy them. Also, we're going to hit 3K overnight tonight. Thank you guys so much for the endless support. We already hit 200,000 channel views. I never thought this would happen. It's truly amazing. Also, if you guys want to join my Discord, link is in the description. Also, link to my Instagram account too for the channel. If you guys are new, be sure to drop that like button and subscribe. Join the Y Squad. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your endless support. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.